baffled in Indriya Tripti. Like the whole culture, the whole society, it provides us awareness today. The whole culture and the society today, the advertisements all around, they provide us um, newer and newer ways of sense gratification. They tell us about that. Like it is so contradictory that like someone, if he watches TV or he just goes through internet surfing, or these days it's getting very prevalent to just scroll the reels on mobile. So it looks very funny, and maybe some of you would have experienced in your um, years before you came to Krishna consciousness, that people spend more time on surfing the channels rather than seeing a particular channel, because while surfing they continuously think maybe the next channel will give me more happiness, maybe the next channel will give me more satisfaction. But in the end, it's a complete baffled state. None of the channels give satisfaction. How many have experienced this? So that's a live example that these advertisements that we are going through in all around, they are not going to give us satisfaction. We will be just surfing and just continuously scrolling, but ultimately there will be no happiness, right? Like when Prabhupada went in America, and people around, the situation started from World War II. In World War II, I think somewhere around 1945, 44, 45 was World War II. So at that time, after that, America came out as a very, affluent state, the most prosperous nation. The reason was practically in all the nations had fights in their territories, and there was a huge loss to infrastructure. But it was only in America that there was hardly any attack. It was just somewhere, at the fag end of the war, somewhere in 1945, just towards the end of the war, there was just one attack on the Pearl Harbor. And America is so clever that it just made money by selling the weapons to different countries. It made very good money. So in like 1945s, before World War II, like what people dreamt in America of being, very prosperous, very rich, it actually happened to people of America after World War II. They were they became prosperous because they sold huge quantities of weapons, and even America was very, rich in food grains. So it supplied food grains everywhere and weapons, and it earned a lot of money. So the veterans of this World War II, their children, they would, in 1945, this World War was, Prabhupada went in 65, after 20 years. So the veterans of this children of, the children of the veterans of the World War II, they were extremely rich. What their forefathers could just dream of, they had everything. So much of money, so much of prosperity. But that did not give them satisfaction. That did not give them happiness. So somewhere in 1962, 1963, these years, drugs started becoming prevalent in America, the way it is becoming in Punjab now. So drugs started becoming very prevalent in America, and in 65, when Prabhupada went there, the situation was like people went into drugs, and then drugs went into them. The situation was like that. And every time these Americans were in a search of a higher quality of drug, which can give them more and more, you can say, more and more satisfaction. But still, in the end, athato indriya tripti jigyasa, in the end they were frustrated. So when these hippies met Prabhupada and they said, we have tried so many things and still we are frustrated, Prabhupada said, oh, I appreciate that you are frustrated. Because now, since you are frustrated, now the stage of what will start? Athato Brahma Jigyasa will start. Now, this Hare Krishna will give you um, uh, a high that you cannot get from drugs. So this slogan came, stay high forever. So, yeah. So, so we can understand that it is the principle that being frustrated with the uh, uh, material existence starts the Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So if material life is giving us dissatisfaction, or material life is giving us frustration, we should consider it good, because Prabhupada said, I appreciate it. We should consider it good that the next stage is Krishna consciousness. Then again, there is another line that was there. The origin of everything is Supreme Brahman. Therefore, origin of lust is also Supreme. The origin of lust is also Krishna. So where is the problem? If lust is, you can say this material world is a perverted reflection of spiritual world. So whatever is on the top in the spiritual world, if you see a perverted reflection in this material world, that is the lowest. So love is the highest. Where? In the spiritual world. And this material world is a perverted reflection, upside down. So opposite to love is lust, the lowest one. So that reflection is there. So now what is our role in this? The problem is that our lust is misdirected towards sense gratification. That is the problem. It's not in the correct direction. If the lust is directed towards serving Krishna, it says in this shlok that initially there is lust. When lust is dissatisfied, it gets converted to wrath. And then again this example of Hanumanji comes. So one is misdirected wrath, one is misdirected anger, and one is correct direction. So Hanumanji, in that wrath, he burnt the entire Lanka for serving Krishna. So the problem is the lust and the anger is misdirected. It should be given correct direction. All the passion should be employed in serving Krishna. That is the perfection. Lust is in any case, as of now, it's going to be there. Ado Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha. There are 9 stages. First is Shraddha. Then there is Sadhu Sangha. Then there is Bhajan Kriya. Currently, we are up to this stage. Sadhu Sangha is going on. We are staying in base. And Bhajan Kriya is also going on. We are chanting, we are reading, we are hearing, we are associating with devotees. So as soon as Ado Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, then comes Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti, all the lust, anger, greed, pride, everything will come to an end. So while associating with devotees, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, while doing Bhajan Kriya, we direct our lust towards Krishna. We direct our passion towards Krishna. And that brings a stage of Anartha Nivritti. Like, another day I was going through this Back to Godhead magazine, and it was written, see how powerful this lust is, and how to control it. I got a very interesting excerpt in Back to Godhead magazine, where this article was there, where it was written that, like there is a lion, and very hungry lion. And you just show a loaf of meat from far behind, from a distant place you show. So this lion will, scream very loudly. It will roar very loudly, looking at the loaf of meat. But you keep it at a distant place, and the lion is inside the cage. It will scream like anything. It will roar. It will continue to roar. Sooner, it will bring out its tongue, and the spit will start coming from his mouth. But with time, what will happen? He will get to know. Okay, I'm not going to get this. It's just being shown. and he will just धीरे धीरे कमजोर पड़ना शुरू हो जाएगा lion जो है. So this lust was compared in that article to this lion. It sees from a far distant place that if I engage in the lustful activity, I will feel satisfied. Now the point is, if that loaf of meat is given to that lion, next time it will roar even more loudly, right? But if that loaf is not given, it is just shown, and like in Bhagavad Gita 2.70, it is told. What is the exact translation? I don't remember. It is like, as the ocean remains undisturbed by the incessant flow of rivers, these lustful desires will come. Undoubtedly, these will come till the time we are in the contact with the material world. But these lustful desires, if let them come as the rivers, incessant flow of rivers, and you should be as peaceful as the ocean is. Water is continuously coming. Is the ocean getting overflowed? No. So very nice example in Bhagavad Gita. So these desires will come, but if you remain stagnant like ocean, then what will happen? Then what will happen? Sooner or later, it's not going to affect you. But if you give that loaf of meat to that lion, next time it will roar loudly. But if you don't give it, by roaring continuously, it will become weak. So what is the meaning of giving that loaf? What is the practical meaning of giving that loaf to that lion or not giving that loaf to the lion? The practical meaning is contemplation. You understand? Lustful desires come, but you don't contemplate on them. Let it be a passing thought. Let it come, let it go. It has come, but you start processing it in your brain and you start creating various images. Problem is there. If the lustful desire comes, but you let it pass, you don't contemplate, that is the solution. And in that way, that lion of lust will become weak. That is the way out to deal with it. You understand how personally how I used to deal with it long time ago, and still sometimes, that whenever such thoughts come, I maybe immediately turn on some Prabhupada lecture, or maybe I start chanting. That is the practical way of dealing with it. Or maybe sometimes I start worshipping Tulsi. I sit next to Tulsi Maharani. If it is practical, I start chanting, or I start circumambulating around Tulsi Maharani, or maybe I start hearing some Prabhupada lecture. I turn on some. These are the practical way outs to avoid the contemplation. Again, the problem is not, devotees feel demotivated thinking that the problem is with me, that continuously lustful desires are coming. The problem is not that. The problem is the contemplation. That should be avoided. And, by creating a shunya, you cannot avoid contemplation. You have to do some activity to avoid the contemplation. We are not on that level that, okay, I will not think about it. So maybe turn on some Prabhupada lecture, maybe go in front of deities, maybe offer some prayers to Tulsi Maharani, something like that. And I have seen, practically I have seen that within half a minute, everything is gone. Everything will be gone. So if we practically apply these steps, it's going to help out a lot. So that's how we correctly direct the lust. Currently, the lust is misdirected because of our contemplation propensity. And if we give it the correct direction at the correct time, it will not disturb us much. So in this shloka, in 3.38, there is a very beautiful comparison given. You can make, if you feel comfortable, you can make 5 columns. You understand? 5 columns? Column is like this. I'm sure most of you are non-medical students. Matrices and determinants. So 5 columns. So in the first column you can write, I'll give you a complete analogy of this shlok. In the first column you can write object. In the second column you can write covered by. Object, covered by. In the third column you can write compared to consciousness of. Compared to consciousness of. Okay, object is the first column, second column is covered by. Third column is compared to consciousness of. Fourth column is degree of lust. And fifth column is chances of overcoming. I'm again repeating. First column is object. Second column is covered by. The third column is compared to consciousness of. The fourth column is degree of lust. Written. And the fifth column is chances of overcoming. So the first object in this shloka is Dhumena avrite vahanir. Vahanir means fire. The first object is fire. And it is covered by dhumena, covered by smoke. It is compared to the consciousness of humans. Okay, I'm repeating again. The first object in this shloka is fire. It is covered by smoke. Obviously, when you lit the fire, the first thing that comes out is smoke. And after some time, you start seeing the fire itself. So object is fire. It is covered by smoke. It is compared to the consciousness of human. The degree of lust is slight. The degree of, the degree of cover, you can say, the degree of covering, not lust. The degree of covering is slight. And the chances of overcoming is maximum. By chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So this is how valuable the human form of life is. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that it is as good as like it's smoke on the fire, and it can easily go away just with thoda sa phonk maroge and it will spread, and you will be able to see the fire, the pure consciousness within you. So the chances of overcoming are highest. The second object is, the first was Dhumena avrite vanir. Vanir means fire, and Dhumena avrite means it's covered by smoke. Okay. The next is Yatha darsho malena cha. The second object is Yatha darsho. Adarsho means mirror. Yatha darsho, just as. Yatha means just as. Adarsho means mirror. Malena cha. Malena means dust. Covered by dust. Okay, so second object is mirror. It is covered by malena, dust. So now which one is a thicker covering? If you compare the two, the smoke on the fire or the dust on the mirror, which one is the dust? Sometimes you may not be even able to interpret that it's whether it is wall or it is mirror. You understand? Because it is thoroughly covered with dust. You understand? The object is mirror, and it is covered by dust, and it is compared to the consciousness of animals. It is compared to the consciousness of animals. And the degree of cover is, first one was slight. In animals, the degree of cover is medium. And chances of overcoming is also medium. Can they chant Hare Krishna? No. But in later form of lives, maybe this animal sometime got prasad to eat. Some outside some temple. Someone, like, we give it to animals sometimes. So maybe some prasad we have given, like that. And the chances of, by having just food, the chances of overcoming this covering is medium for them. Like in humans, you can see now the importance of our body. We have the highest chances, maximum chances of, dissipating this smoke and see the pure consciousness within us. But in animals, it's a medium chance with some external support. Maybe they get some prasad or something like that. And the third object is, you have written this complete one. Object is mirror, covered by dust, compared to the consciousness of animals. The degree of covering is medium and the chances of overcoming is also medium. But not in the same life, in the later lives. And the third one is Yatho Ublena Avrito Garbhas. This means the third object is Garbha. Garbha means embryo. Embryo is the third object and it is covered by Ublena. Ublena means womb. So Garbha means embryo. Object is embryo. It is covered by womb. It is compared to the consciousness of trees. It is compared to the consciousness of trees. The degree of covering is intense. The degree of cover, if you compare animals and trees, the level of consciousness is very low. The degree of lust is intense and the chances of overcoming is minimum. The chances of overcoming is minimum. So, this is the complete, you can say, the dissection of this shloka. And we can understand that how important the human form of life is from this shloka. And the best part is this purport Prabhupada has picked from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. This is, I was just going through the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary as well. So it is exactly, Prabhupada has picked these points from there. So, we have discussed that we should not allow this lust to take the control. And the best way out is to not to contemplate. Let it be a passing thought. And as you know, Maya is very powerful. Maya Devi has two Shakti. I'm sure most of you are aware. Avarna Atmika Shakti and Prakshep Atmika Shakti. What is the difference? Can someone tell? The two Shaktis of Maya. Yeah.
Avarnatmika Shakti basically covers the conditioned souls.
Yes.
Of knowledge. And the Prakshepatmika makes him delay, like procrastination, laziness, etc.
I can give you a simple example. Like most of you, I think, would have gone to a theater for a movie. So what is Avarnatmika Shakti? First of all, what is done in theater is? Lights are turned off. Lights are turned off. So that is like Avarnatmika Shakti. It makes us forgetful about our real identity. It makes us forgetful. हमें भुला ही देती है कि हमारी असली identity क्या है. That is Avarnatmika Shakti. And Prakshepatmika Shakti is the next step in the theater. When the movie is turned on. The Prakshepatmika, the Avarnatmika Shakti makes us forget our real identity. The Prakshepatmika Shakti of Maya, it makes us, it drags us into illusion by showing that movie of the material world. It drags us forcefully into the illusion. It is so powerful. Maya Shakti is so powerful. This is the reason people say, Prabhupada said, that people see that the other person is dying and still this rascal thinks that I am not going to die. That's the Prabhupada statement. Recently, I was stunned with I was shocked practically with death of one of my students. Just 18 or 19 years old girl. Just last week it happened. And it was practically, she was absolutely all right. She had met me a few days. She was studying in this MCM Devi college near the temple. So whenever she had breaks in the middle part of the day, she used to visit our temple. She was very regular. If you're aware, 2-3 days ago, there was a Kriya ceremony in temple. That was for that girl. She was my student. And she was absolutely fine. The day I got the news of her death, just 2 days ago, I had met her in the temple. I had went for darshans and she was there. So we just had a Hare Krishna. She talked to me about some certain, she's not now in college. She was now in college. I don't teach college students. I teach 11th, 12th standard and CA students. So she was in college. So She asked me few doubts also, and she was looking absolutely fine. There was no problem at all. And the next day, I got the poster that cremation at 12 noon. I was shocked that yesterday, day before, I have met her. It was all fine. I didn't have the courage to talk to her mother that day. And then I just went in the cremation. And then later on, 2, 3 days later, I went to their house for some chanting. And I spoke to her mother that what exactly happened. She said she was absolutely fine. No problem at all. In the morning, she just asked her mother that yesterday was my exam. It went well and I'm very happy with my yesterday's exam. So today I am going to Chandigarh temple. I will be. She was spiritually inclined. I will chant for some time. I have few friends there. I will be sitting with them, and then I will come back around noon. So mother said that okay, I will just have your breakfast prepared. You get ready, and she just went and as soon as she came out of the washroom, she said, "Mama, मेरे को सब कुछ दो दो दिख रहा है." तो उनको लगा मे बी चक्कर आ रहा होगा कुछ और बैठाया उसको पानी वगैरह दिया एंड सडनली शी कोलैप्स्ड शी फेल डाउन immediately she was taken to alchemist in 21 sector Panchkula and there as soon as doctors analyzed she was announced brought dead. This is the value of our life. It's we have such a great opportunity on one hand that the covering is not very intense. We can come into our pure consciousness state. On one hand, we have opportunity. On the other hand, it's a great danger. Kamala daljal, jivana talmal. Any time we don't know when we are going to lose it. We don't know. There was this person who asked Prabhupada, this person, he was young and Prabhupada was 70 plus, so he asked Prabhupada that this bhakti and all I will do in the later ages. So Prabhupada asked him, can you guarantee me that you are going to die after me? So in that sense, everyone is old. There is no guarantee when we are going to die. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Was this girl? Okay, the best part is the day we are going to leave the body, that's going to be just another ordinary day like today. Like today it is. Just another ordinary day. We won't be aware that it's going to happen today. So that's why it's an emergencycal situation. We should fight it out very hard, very fast in Krishna consciousness. We should come out of our shells and work hard towards, as Prabhupada said, let the upcoming death be the last one. We should work hard. So that's what is my understanding on this shlok, that we have an opportunity to overcome this lust. Otherwise, if we go into lower forms of life, the covering is going to be intense because the consciousness level is going to be low. We won't have that chance that we have right now. All right. Any questions? Any comments? Any clarifications? Yes.
एक क्वेश्चन था तो प्रभुपाद जी लेक्चर में गीता उसमें पढ़ा था एक बुक में छोटी बुक उसको याद नहीं रहा कि जैसे जो है वो होती इवॉल्व होती है स्पीशीज से दूसरी इवॉल्व में तो प्रभुपाद जी बताते फिश से वो ट्रीज में जाती है पहले फिश होती है फिर ट्रीज में जाती है तो फिश की कॉन्शियसनेस को नीचे बताया गया तो जैसे यहाँ पे मतलब बताया गया एम्ब्रियो ट्रीज के लिए तो फिर उसके लिए हम फिश के लिए भी यही रखेंगे ट्रीज क्योंकि इवॉल्व तो हायर कॉन्शियसनेस में होती है ना लिविंग एंटिटी फिश का मिलता है फिर उसके बाद ट्रीज फिर प्रोवाइड होता है एनिमल्स में फिर वो काऊ तक जाएगी काऊ से ह्यूमन
फॉर्म काऊ के बाद होता है मैंने कुछ पढ़ा नहीं इसके बारे में तो आई कैन नॉट मतलब ये तो पता है कि फिश देन ट्रीज देन बट आई डोंट नो हाउ टू कमेंट ऑन दिस till that I don't read something I cannot comment on this point. So I'm not sure, but definitely if fish is definitely lower species and trees are comparatively higher, so definitely we can understand that in fish, I mean by logical reasoning, we can understand that fish definitely has a more intense covering. But I haven't, read in any of the books of Prabhupada, so I cannot comment.
wonderful class. Prabhuji, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada compared the mirror to two things. First of all, he compared the mirror to our minds, which is to be cleansed by the chanting process.
Yes.
And second time he compared it.
Birds and beasts.
So, one time he's comparing the mirror with our minds, the minds of we humans.
Yeah, with chanting, we need to clear the dust. With chanting, one devotee had asked His Grace Rukmani Krishna Prabhu that प्रभु जी, जब मैं भक्ति में नहीं था तब तो मैं बहुत मतलब अच्छा था, सॉफ्ट स्पोकन था, सबसे अच्छे से बात करता था, ना कोई मेरे झगड़े झुगड़े नहीं होते थे, एवरीथिंग वाज गुड, मैं साथ ही खड़ा था प्रभु जी से, कोई पूछने आया कुछ। पर अभी ना मतलब कोई भी कुछ भी बोलता तो मैं जल्दी से फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाता हूँ, ऐसे क्यों होता प्रभु जी? तो प्रभु जी ने जवाब दिया कि देखो, पहले जो डस्ट था ना वो सेटल्ड था, वो बैठा हुआ डस्ट था, कोई उस पर झाड़ू नहीं मार रहा था, तो वो नजर भी नहीं आ रहा था कि कुछ कमी भी है हम में। अभी क्या, चैंटिंग करते हो, भक्तों के साथ एसोसिएट करते हो, तो उस डस्ट के ऊपर झाड़ू लगता है, तो वो झाड़ू लगता है तो वो थोड़ा सा उड़ता तो है। अब उड़ेगा तो पता भी चलेगा कि ये भी चीज है मेरे अंदर, ये भी मटेरियल है। अंडरस्टैंड? सो लाइक दैट विद चैंटिंग एंड विद एसोसिएशन ऑफ डिवोटीज, विद रीडिंग, हियरिंग, भक्ति के 64 अंगों में से 5 प्रमुख हैं: रीडिंग, हियरिंग, then chanting, then tulsi worship, then deity worship, and devotee association, 5। ये 5 प्रमुख है। अगर आप ये करते हैं तो जो माइंड के ऊपर जो कवरिंग है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच इट इज एनिमी, वो धीरे धीरे हटना शुरू हो जाएगा। सो दैट कंपैरिजन इज ऑल्सो ओके। That is a comparison in a different context. And another context is comparing the 3 species: humans, animals, and trees. One context is that, and another context is our mind. So we should not, I mean, there is no comparison of these 2 contexts. Understand? 2 different points. Any other question? I will close. हरे कृष्णा। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद